Morning, this is Mark Summers. We're going to talk about grading for assignment 13A. We've got drawing, you've got the key for the drawing. It's got numbers, labels for the values you're going to be checking, and it's got color coding for the other items you're going to be checking for. You've also got a copy of the spreadsheet, so you'll put 5s across here or 0s depending on what the students done on their assignment, and then the grades will automatically update over here as usual. So you'll fill these rows out for every student, and it looks like you've already picked up the drawings, so you're ready to go. So for each student, they've got unique numbers for these red values here, and the way you request the values that you're looking for, you type in the student ID. So you have to put the tick mark in front of student ID. So if you want student number 10, you hit the little single quote tick mark, type in 10, and it'll extract the correct values for these values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, and 9. So we'll start off on student 1. You start here and put the grades. So let's go look and see what these values are. 1 through 5, material thickness, bin radius. There's a hole size, hole identified as hole number 3, size of the hole for number 4, size of the hole for number 5. 6 and 7 is material spec, which is node 4. Number 7 is a finish spec call out, which is node 5. And so you'll look on the drawing and just verify that they have something there. If they have, for note 4 example, if they have material as stainless steel or material as carbon steel, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for an actual specification. So something like material 5052H32 aluminum sheet per AMSQQA 250/8. That's a real material spec, and so that would earn all 5 points. If they just say they have 5052H32 aluminum, that's not going to do it. Same thing with the finish spec. You're going to be looking for a specification, not just a description. So something like finish anodize, or finish passivate, or finish zinc plate. It's not going to cut it. You're going to need a note 5 that says something like sulfuric anodized per mil A 8625 type 2 class 1. That would be a valid finish spec, and you'd give them full credit. And then for these last two values, 8 and 9, they're on sheet 2, and they are for the flat pattern distances. You'll check those numbers, and as long as all those numbers that we've talked about, as long as they're within plus or minus, now these last two numbers, as long as they're within 5 thousandths, that's fine. These values over here should be good within 3 decimal places. All right, so let's go look at the drawing and identify these 9 locations. So here's the key that you already have. Here's value 1 is material thickness. They should have a dimension for that. Value 2, that's the bin radius, should be 1.5 times the thickness. Mine is 2 times, but there should be 1.5 times per the values on that spreadsheet. So you're checking this number 1, check to make sure they have that number correct. Value 2, make sure they have that number correct. If the dimension is not there, then they don't earn any credit. So note 3, or number 3 is over here. This is a value of the size for those 6 holes. I've got XXX on the drawing, so you'll look for that value for number 3 to make sure that's correct. See if they earn those points. Number 4 is over here. It's another hole size. Check to make sure the value is correct. Either earn the points 5 or don't earn any points 0. Hole size 5 is down here. It should have all of these are the same. It should be 0.1875 plus 3 thousandths minus 0 as per the spreadsheet. So check to make sure that number's there. Number 6 is the material spec. Like I mentioned before, just make sure they've got a spec on there to earn those points. Same thing with 7, the finished spec will be up here. And then numbers 8 and 9 are on the second sheet. There's the dimension for number 8. They should have the labeled or they should have a dimension, and that number should match within 5,000th of what's on the spreadsheet. And there's number 9. That should match within 5,000ths on the spreadsheet. All right, so let's go back to the spreadsheet. That takes care of these first values here. As far as the correct print format, they should have one piece of paper. It should have page sheet 1 on one side, and you flip it over, it has page 2, sheet 2 on the other side. So one piece of paper, sheet 1 on the front, sheet 2 on the back. It should be 11 by 17, and it should be printed so it fills up the whole page. It should be printed full scale. Correct views, they should have the same views I've got on the drawing. You should have a front, side, rear, top, and isometric view. So that's worth 5 points. On sheet 2, you should have the flat pattern view. So if I've got sheet 2 with that view that I've got on my drawing, they'll earn those points. These color-coded ones are on the drawing. So let's look at fillets and chamfers. Dimensions, that's orange. They should have these orange dimensions here for the fillets and the chamfers. Those should be there. If they've got, if there's 4 or 5 of them, they have a couple of them, maybe they earn 2.5 points. If they've got all of them or almost all of them, then maybe 5 points. If they don't have any or hardly any, then maybe it's 0 points. So some range between 0 and 5. But the orange dimensions are highlighted for you. You should be able to figure out the radii, the fillets, and the chamfers. They earn points for those. Basic dimensions are green. They should be able to, all of these green dimensions are the basic dimensions. Hopefully you know what a basic dimension is. Those are going to be enclosed with a box. And so again, there's whatever, how many there are, 10 or 15. If they've got most all of them or all of them, maybe they earn 5 points. If they have hardly any, maybe they earn 0, and somewhere in between 0 and 5, I'll let you do that. But all the green ones should be all basic dimensions. What's next? Feature control frame. There's an A and a B. They should have 2 feature control frames. If we look at the drawing, I've got those highlighted in red. A is a feature control frame, so there's 1 there. There's 1 there, and 1 there. It should, so those are worth 5 points. So if they get all of them, they get 5. If they've got 0, earn 0 points, and then somewhere in between if they have 1 or 2 of them. The dimensions, the tolerances doesn't matter. I just want to make sure they have something. So positional tolerance within some diameter relative to datums A, B, and C. So those should be on there to earn those points. Let's go back to the spreadsheet. Datums A, B, and C is the next one, and those are also identified on the drawing with red boxes around them. There's datum A, there's datum B, there's datum C. If they get them all, they earn all the points. If they don't have any, no points, and then something in between. You can give them some partial credit. If they have datum A defined up here instead of over here, as long as it's the same surface, that's fine. So datum C could be called out here, or it could be called out up here, but it's got to represent that same edge. And if you don't understand about datums, you can ask me about that. All right, the other ones are all color-coded. 2-place dimensions are yellow. They should have all of these dimensions that are highlighted should be 2-place dimensions. Sometimes they forget and make them 3-place dimensions, so these should all be 2-place dimensions. And if they get most of them or all of them 2-place dimensions, then they should earn all 5 points, and then some range in between. And then the next one is title block and revision. That's the blue. Look over here on the drawing. Up here they should have this filled out. Should be rev dash, description, initial release. Should have a date with that format. If it's not that format, they don't earn those points. Drafter should be whoever's turned in the assignment. Should be this format, first initial, last name. Approved should be some name over here that's different from the drafter. Down here in the title block, the checker and the approved should be the same person. So this is a blue box. This is a blue box down here. The title block should be filled out. It should have the drawing title with there should be 070, 071, or 072. Student ID, assignment 13, and this assembly is a -30. Should have a description here. Should have names, drafter, checker, and engineer. I'm the engineer. Should have dates over here that have the right format. Two numbers for the day, 3 letters for the month, 4 numbers for the year. If those are not formatted correctly, they don't earn those points. So between those 2 blue boxes, that's worth 5 points. Bomb and balloons, they should have the bomb. Here it is in purple. Should have a bill of materials. Should have descriptions similar to what I've got here. Should have the right part numbers here. And then the balloons should be up here. They're also shown in purple. Both of those together worth 5 points. And this 2x, 3x identifications, that's the pink ones. There's several parts of the drawing where you've got dimensions that there's 2 places they apply to, so that should be 2x. There's 2 chamfers, there's one here, there's one here, so that's 2x. So all of these that have these pink highlights, those should be there. 4x, 2x, there's 4 fillets, so it should be 4x. So those pink ones, again, there's however many there are, there's half a dozen, 8 or 10, so give them partial credit. If they get most of them, all of them, give them 5 points. If they don't have hardly any of them, give them 0 points, and then you can give them credit in between anywhere. So all those add up to 100. So as you fill these out, that will total up over here. So save the spreadsheet. Please email it to me. Also return the drawings, and you can have your red markups however you want to keep track of what they got right and wrong. But I'll show them the spreadsheet, and they'll be able to see which one they got right and wrong. And hopefully you can have that to me before classes. Soma, your class is on Monday at 3:30. So hopefully I can get these from you before 3:30 on Monday. Marab, your class is at 12:30, so hopefully I can get this spreadsheet from you before 12:30 next Tuesday. So if you have any questions, please shoot me an email. Otherwise, I'll look for those drawings back in my inbox in an email with that spreadsheet before class next week. Thanks as always for your help, and we'll talk to you soon.